Yo, what is good with y'all? It's your boy KAG, and I'm back with another video. As y'all can see, over the weekend, we didn't get any news regarding Nintendo NX, other than, the controller ends and everything like that. But today, I'm going to, open y'all's mind up to a new idea regarding Nintendo NX. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's hop into this video. Now, as you can see on screen, I have that video that was done a while back. As a matter of fact, it was done back around E3 regarding a system called the Nintendo XDS. Whether it's fake, whether it's real, nobody really honestly knows. There's really no truth to whether or not it's real or fake, but one or the other. But in regards to that, I had a thought come into my head, and I figured I'd go ahead and share it with y'all. Now, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Let's say Nintendo does go ahead and they create a one-screen device, right? A tablet-type device with one screen. What that would actually do is that would kind of abandon, the whole 3DS, DS line of games, right? So those games won't be able to be playable anymore. I mean, unless for some strange reason you can hold this controller sideways or something weird like that and be able to play the games like that. But then I also thought about the fact that, all the 3DS games as well as the Wii U gamepad, they all use stylus, right? Well, if you think about that and then you think about a capacitive screen being on the device, well, the drawing feature that people use in Miiverse and stuff like that, well, it wouldn't quite work as well, right? So I said to myself, well, what if the top screen is capacitive and the bottom screen is a stylus? So for example, like in this view right here, you would be using a capacitive screen as a touch screen, right? So that could be just a regular capacitive screen for like any of those tablet type games, right, that you would normally play. And then when you were going to use like a 3DS game, or maybe you were gonna draw on Miiverse or something like that, you would use the resistive screen that is underneath it. Now the resistive screen is just the one with the stylus. The one on the top would be a capacitive screen, which means you could just use like finger gestures or whatever, or what have you, And I think that would probably work out the best. I mean, you can buy a capacitive stylus that would go and work on there, but that would kind of be a step back for the actual screen because that stylus is nowhere near as accurate as a resistive stylus. Now, if you actually take a look at it that way, you can say, okay, well, you slide down the top of it, right? You slide down the top, it becomes a tablet, right? A regular traditional tablet that people can use and play games with their finger, right? If you had like a capacitive screen. Then, if you're on a 3DS game or maybe a Wii U game or something like that, and you wanted to use the actual stylus for like either drawing something or anything like that, you could actually just slide the top back and then you could actually draw on the actual capacitive screen. On top of that, what this will actually do is, you remember how we discussed whether or not Wii U games could be backward compatible with the device? Well, this would actually make it possible, because any other way it wouldn't technically be possible unless you were switching back and forth between screens. So like for example, if you're on the go and let's say you're playing a Wii U game, you couldn't technically play a Wii U game, so to say, with a screen that actually is only one screen. You actually need both screens. So in that case, you'd be able to play the Wii U game up there on the top screen, and then you would have what would typically be your gamepad screen on the bottom screen, right? And so you actually be able to go ahead and draw or whatever you're supposed to be doing. Let's say you're playing Splatoon, you'd be able to go here and you actually be able to hit where you're supposed to be going on the screen and whatnot, and be able to see the map and everything. Whereas, if you only had one screen, the only way you could technically play Wii U games would be connected to a TV, if that makes any sense. But on top of that, as far as being able to play 3DS games on it, that makes the most sense as well. And I don't think Nintendo would create a handheld device that would completely abandon their back catalog. So for them to go ahead and create a one-screen device that is supposed to be their new handheld, then they would be completely abandoning the 3DS line of games. So it only makes sense that, it would be a dual screen device. If that makes sense to y'all. And on top of that, for it just to have been a regular tablet, well, you can say, well, there's a million tablets out there. You can buy a Galaxy tablet, you can buy an iPad, you can buy Asus, you can buy any type of Android tablet. And it would essentially be this device, right? If you just slap some controllers on the sides of it. But one thing that Nintendo does have that the other people do not have is the dual screens. There's no other dual screen device really that's out there besides for like a Nintendo DS or a 3DS, if that makes sense. So, this isn't anything I've heard or anything like that, but I figured I'd give y'all a little thinking point as regards to why this device would more than likely have two screens rather than one screen. And that's pretty much the way it's looking. Now, in regards to this XDS video, it could be real, to be honest with you. Granted, it could be fake as well. A lot of people called it fake right out the back, but it is a possibility that it could be real, and it could have been maybe like a mock-up, a prototype, a demo. If you actually look at this device and you actually listen and read everything, the screen is actually about 6 inches across the top. 6.2 is in 720p, not 1080p, 720p. I mean, this device right here pretty much lines up almost identical to everything we've heard. Even if you look at those control sides, right? A lot of people, when they do their mock-ups of what the NX will look like, it looks something like this, right? And you can detach the controllers along the sides, right? And you'll be able to use them maybe as Wii controllers or whatever have you. So it does kind of line up there as well. Except the only thing is, this device has two screens instead of one screen, but they make it fold down so that it's one screen so that it looks like a tablet, so you could use it like a tablet. And then let's say if you wanted to and you want to use two screens, you technically could. Or for example, I came up with this idea. I know it's gonna sound kind of stupid, but you know how Nintendo's saying you can cater to moms and all that stuff. Well, I said, well, some moms like to read, right? Well, imagine if you took this device, right, and you turned it sideways, without the controller ends on there, of course, and you turned it sideways, it would turn it into like a book. So you could have one page on one side, you could have one page on the other side. But just a random thought. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we talk about all things Nintendo here. And yeah, like I said, hit the subscribe button. I'm out of here. Peace.